About Nairobian Edwin Sifuna, Babu Owino and Sakaja. Is it right time for campaigning or development as we see problem of drainage system with heavy rains? What are your thoughts?
Mimi naitwa Alan. Niko mambo ni sawa, tunaona siasa hapa na pale. Tutasema katika taifa la Kenya ni kawaida lakini si kawaida.
Time for campaigning. Jibu tuko nalo leo ndani ya Bunge la Mwananchi. Tuma tu rafiki, tuma comment yako moja kwa moja ili tujue unafikiria nini kuhusiana na shughuli ya leo.
First of all, kila kitu kiko na wakati wake. Everything has its own time, and it's wrong and unconstitutional for any politician in the country of Kenya to start campaigning before the time that is needed. And every politician should start to campaign, or the campaign should start officially after the IBC declares that they are free to start their campaign. The politicians are free to start their campaigns, and it should be normally 1 to 2 months to 1 or 2 months to the general elections or to the dates that the elections have been declared. Let's say maybe the elections will be done in August. Maybe the campaigns can start in March and all that. But now in Kenya, who honors the constitution in Kenya? No one. There's no any leader. But if there is any leader in Kenya who honors the constitution of Kenya, tell me. None of these people honors the constitution. The leaders themselves don't. The only people to whom the constitution breaks and destroys are the commoners. But anyone who is an elite, okay, quote unquote elite, they don't honor the constitution. That is why in Kenya, kura imefanyika leo, president ameingia leo, na siasa wanaanza ya the next election year. Election term wameanza 2022, tulimaliza kura. The next day mambo inaongoleka ni ya 2027. And tumesikia hiyo lugha ya 2027 mpaka sasa bado tunasikia the very 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 language. And believe me, even after the 2027 elections, the next thing itafanyika the next day, people will start talking about the election in 2032. So they are talking about election, the next election mpaka wanasahau kufanyia wananchi kazi, because between that time after elections to the next general election ni kazi inafanya.
Are we ready for accountability? Is it right time for campaigning? All these meet us today, Bunge la Mwananchi, leadership development and politics one-on-one.
Time to do their politics and all that than working. They take most of their time to do their politics than working. Believe me, they spend a lot of money and the resources to do their politics than working, because wherever they go to campaigns, usinidanganye wapianangi kakitu, wanapiana kakitu. They have to issue some handouts and all that. But if those handouts are meant to do something positive within that area, then it works. Most of these politicians are con men and con women. So they are using their words and the little money that is there to con the will of the people and the minds of the people for themselves. And that is how they end up not working for the 5 years they've been there, and they'll come back again and start telling you voters to go and finish what you have not started. How will you finish what you have not started? Na ile ujinga ingine wanaanzaga 2 months to the elections, wanaanza kuchimba barabara kudanganya wananchi. Ndio waweze kusema mnaona tumeanza tumalizie. No, that is conmanship and conwomanship. So all these people are con men and con women. Yeah.
Hivi majuzi tumeona mambo ya kina Sifuna, kina Babu Owino, na pia imeleta tashwishi kidogo kuhusiana na ile mambo ya mafuriko imekuwa pale Nairobi. Sijui jambo hilo utakuwa unachukulia vipi? Ni ile tumepotelea kwa campaign, tumesahau kufanyia wananchi kazi, au utakuwa unachukulia vipi kwa watu kama wale pia?
Of course all these people, okay, mambo na mafuriko ya Nairobi tutaiangalia kwa utatu ama kwa vitu nne. I'll say the leadership of Nairobi failed. They failed Nairobians in one, because they have to be watching over what's happening around Nairobi, but they have not done that so far. So they have failed the Nairobians one way, one or the other. But again, we cannot put the whole blame on the leaders and forget about the very people who come up with those things and own those apartments in Nairobi. Yes. Because I know, as a leader, you might be giving everything that is needed. Sakaja might have given everything that is needed. Exactly. But now the people who are, the developers, let me call them developers. The developers who are developing Nairobi wanatumia shortcuts to pull up whatever they want. Wanaambiwa tumia chuma size hii, chimba septic tank size hii, because they don't want to use a lot of resources. They chimba whatever they think is enough for them, then they end up to that. Or the developer might have given enough money to do that job, but the contractor himself or herself, because they want to save and get a lot of profit from whatever they are doing. Wanafanya shoddy job. So it's not all about the governors, not about the senators, not all about there are very many people involved, and I think they should bring all the stakeholders together and decide this is what we want. This is the standard way of doing things within the city, because that's a capital city, bro. That's a capital city.
If you are given a chance to maybe to advise those who can hear us from the point of view, according to the Nairobian, the way the state is, maybe your point of view.
If I'm given a chance to talk to these guys and advise them, I'll tell them that everyone needs to take responsibility of whatever they are doing. And because Nairobi is a capital city of a country, we need to make Nairobi have a better face. It must be beautiful. It must have very good amenities. When I talk about amenities, I'm talking about stadiums. I'm talking about roads. Let me talk about infrastructure. It must have a good infrastructure. That is in terms of roads, housing, drainage system, water systems, and everything within Nairobi, because that's a capital city. You cannot make your sitting room look so bad and you expect visitors to come and respect you. The sitting room must be very beautiful and well taken, well arranged in a manner that every visitor who comes in feels like they are comfortable to stay within that. That is the face of Nairobi. So to our leaders, to developers, and to all the contractors within Nairobi, I think we need to do a good job. It's a shared responsibility. It's not Sakaja's responsibility. It's not Sifuna's responsibility. It's not the government's responsibility. It's our responsibility as the dwellers of Nairobi City, to make sure that we are making everything according to the required standards or the offered standards, to make sure that everything is working perfectly without any problem. But the problem is, for us who walk and work around Nairobi, we throw litter anywhere. You've ate your banana, unaitupa hapo. You've taken your milk, unatupa your packet hapo. You've done that, unatupa tu hapo. So you don't really care where all these things go. No. And then after some time, the pipes are blocked, the drainage systems are blocked, then we start complaining. No one calls, there's no one who can control the nature. Nature does its thing in its own way. We can only prepare for nature, but we cannot get prepared enough to control what nature has to do. Sometimes meteorological, these guys will say that it will rain at this capacity, and then in that capacity you will come and say itafanya nini, ita rain to that extent. So we cannot blame God for this. We need to be prepared. And then as much as we are talking about Sifuna and Sakaja not doing their work, as I said, it's a responsibility to endeavor. It's a shared responsibility. Then the guys who collect litter in Nairobi, they should also do their work, because sometimes they have collected the litter from all these homes and all of these rentals and apartments. Then they end up pouring that litter on streets. Like they don't have a specific place where they can dump that, or a dump site, a specific dump site for that litter. And it ends up, mvua ikinyesha kidogo, it ends up dragging it to the rivers and the sewer systems. And all that litter will block up the sewer system, so we end up seeing whatever we saw like 3 days ago in Nairobi, which is a very big shame to a capital city.